Hello and welcome to Matt's Mosh Pit, and today I'm going to be telling you about my top 5 bands and songs that I found through this channel. As always, I just want to say thank you so much for all the love and support you've shown me and my channel so far. It truly means a lot, and I could not do this without you. If you've been following this channel, you know that one of my favorite parts of this whole experience here is the comments. The comments are like I said, I always say it's my favorite thing. I love meeting you guys. I love finding out where you're from. It's just the coolest thing in the world. And I feel like now that I feel like I have pen pals. You know, there's definitely a group of you out there that I feel like I hear from more often than not. And I love every bit of it. I like to think that we're friends at this point. And it's not just saying that because, hey, you write in. I really do feel like, you know, we've made friendships here, and I love that. It's just the coolest thing. And so with that being said, a couple weeks ago, I was going back and forth with, I'm going to put the name up like right here. If I can match my finger to the name, that would be super cool, because you guys probably realize I'm not that good at editing here. So we'll figure that part out anyway. But I was having a conversation with, and I'm only doing that just because I really don't want to botch the name. And that would be awful if I kept just saying the name over and over and it was just completely wrong. Once again, if you've been a fan of this channel, you know that I can't pronounce anything. And so I definitely don't want to mess up the name of a friend of the channel. So and I were talking about, different things. And they had suggested that I do a video of the top 5 bands and songs that I found through this channel. And I thought, hey, that's kind of a cool idea. I haven't done that before. And I really don't do many things that are, I guess, not reaction-based or vlogs or interviews. And so, hey, why not give some insight to this channel? I'm going to start off with the top 5 bands that I've found through this channel. And I will say it was extremely tough. And I want to throw out there that if I don't mention your band or the band that you've seen me do a lot of reactions to, it's not because I didn't like the band. It's just that, quite frankly, I have to narrow this down to 5, which is so tough. And I will definitely throw it out there that what I'm listing today very well could change tomorrow or the next day. Any kind of list is extremely tough, or at least it is for me, because there are some bands that just pop instantly that I just go, yep, I remember the way I felt when I saw them, and I downloaded everything from them afterwards, and even in a lot of cases seen them live since. And so there are bands like that that just immediately pop. Then there's bands that I go, man, I love this band, but either they're still too young, or, you know, where they only have like one album out, or I'm still learning them. And so it's one of those where it's very tough to put this list together, I should say. I thought it was going to be a lot easier. But anyway, with that being said, I'm just going to give you the top 5. I'm say as of today, these are the bands that I feel like I immediately fell in love with. And actually, you know what? Scratch that. There is one band on here that the very, very, very first time I heard them, I was not necessarily blown away. It was cool, but it just wasn't really my thing at the time, and since has become my thing. So I will let you know that when I get to them. But for right now, it is the top 5 bands that I guess I'd say that I found through this channel. So band number 5, and I should say, and I don't know if I said this earlier, I did put this in an order, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1 being my all-time favorite band that I've found on this channel. and working its way down. And once again, this does not mean that number 5 is awful or anything like that. Quite frankly, there's a ton of bands that I could have chosen from, and these are the top 5. So they're all great in their own right. So please don't look at it as if I'm trying to slight one band over the other. And I will give you the rationale for why I chose the positions that I chose. So at number 5, I'm choosing the band Nightwish. And the reason why I say Nightwish is number 5, because when I started out on this whole journey, I had never heard symphonic metal before. And the first time I heard Nightwish, I was not really blown away, let's just say, and it wasn't really my cup of tea. But I really appreciated the musicianship, and I really appreciated the passion from you guys. You guys really, really have taught me to learn and to love symphonic metal. And I will say that between Nightwish and Epica and all of the other bands that I've done that are symphonic metal, I've now grown into becoming. I've been a big fan of it in the probably the past couple months, I would say. So it did take a little bit to, I guess, open my ears and eyes on that one. But I've really, really in the past couple months been listening to a ton of it on in my private time, I guess I'd say. And that's how I looked at a lot of these, is like, what do I listen to in my private time as well? And what have I gravitated to more and more? And honestly, had I, did this list 2 weeks ago, Epica probably would have been on that list, or probably the number 5 spot. But I decided to choose Nightwish because on one end, there's still a lot to learn from Nightwish. And as you guys know, if you've been following the channel, I've literally started out with the Tarja stuff, Marco stuff, Annette stuff, and I'm working through Floor at this point. So there's still a lot for me to learn. But I think they deserve to be in that 5 spot because of the fact that I feel like they're the ones that started it all, and you guys can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But I feel like they have such a long, rich history that that's a band that I'm going to keep going back to more and more. And so I feel like they definitely deserve to be in the 5th spot. So yeah, Nightwish. Who would have thought? And this is the beauty of this channel, is if you had asked me, 8 months ago or whenever I started this channel, would you even have had a symphonic metal band? I didn't even know what symphonic metal even really was. But if you said this was going to be in one of your top 5 lists, I don't know that I would have believed you. But hey, it is what it is. And I got to say, I really, really appreciate it and love it at this point. So that's thanks to you guys. Nightwish is my number 5. Okay, number 4 is a band that I remember the first time I listened to them, I was just blown away on this channel. And I just remember going, what am I listening to? And this is amazing. And how come I didn't know this music even ever existed? And it was really what I love so much about this channel, is finding these bands that are huge bands, in other countries, and I believe they're huge in Europe, but we just don't hear them here, or I would have never heard them here. And I just remember, listening to them for the first time and watching that first video with them. And I just remember going, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And I really, really just got excited every time that I would see another video from them, or at least have another video to check out for the first time. And every time they've been amazing. And it is one of those bands that I kind of stopped doing reactions for because of the fact that I loved what I heard so much that I actually went out and downloaded the whole discography, and I've listened to the whole discography a ton of times. So I can't claim anymore, these are first time listens unless they do new music. And so that's kind of the scary thing with this channel is if I love something immediately, it's very, very hard to not just go check out their whole discography, and save things for first time reactions. And this was one that I did a few reactions just so, I would have content. But then after I think I did a few reactions, it was like, okay, now I feel good that I can just go and get the whole discography and completely digest it. And that band is Eluveitie. I love Eluveitie. I just love the whole style. I love everything about them. The clean singing, the gutturals, the instrumentation is just so cool to me. I think it's because it's so foreign to me also. It's just the blend of like the folk kind of metal with the melodic death metal almost. It's just such a good, range for me, and it just speaks to me. So number 4 is Eluveitie. So band number 3 is an amazing band to me in the fact that they're just complete legends, and I was so thankful to learn about them on this channel. And it was once again, it's another one of those bands that are legendary. They've had a long career, and you just don't hear them here. And I fell in love with them, fell in love with the music, everything about them. And I did do plenty of reactions because they're one of those bands where I fell in love with them, but really wanted to hold out and try to do as many reactions as I could do from this band. And then as luck would have it, they were playing in my area and I immediately got tickets. And so then it became okay, well now I need to learn the songs prior to seeing them live. And, once I did that and I did see them live, I did a vlog, and I was able to then go back and fully digest their music. And so now, once again, I can't really do anything more from them unless they put out new music. And at that point, I will absolutely check out their videos. But the number 3 spot goes to Blind Guardian. I will say that, like I said, I just love Hansi. Has an amazing voice, and seeing him live was fantastic. And if you haven't already seen my vlog for the Blind Guardian show, absolutely check it out. It was such a fun experience, and I just loved their music. And it's one of those bands that to this day, I'll go back and check out pretty much any one of their albums and just absolutely love it. It's a band that I'm so thankful that I learned on this channel. So once again, at the 3rd spot, Blind Guardian. The number 2 band is a band that I really, really struggled with because I wasn't sure if I could actually put them on the list, only because just prior to starting this channel, I was in a full-blown phase of whatever music YouTube was kind of sending me through the algorithm. I was going to check out. And quite frankly, this band was actually one of the reasons why I said, I need to do a channel. I need to do reactions to bands that aren't over here necessarily and they're elsewhere, and I just need to find out more about them. So in theory, I actually did see one of their videos prior to doing this channel, but I'm throwing them on there only because they were part of the reason why I did this channel. So I think that counts. But after doing, a couple of the reactions, you guys have given me way more information and told me so many things and different songs I should check out by this band and all of that good stuff. So I feel like, somebody could claim, it should be disqualified because I've technically saw one video prior to, starting this channel. But then again, I thought about it. I'm like, it's my channel. let me put them on there. You guys in the comments can tell me if I was right or wrong to put them on there. But anyway, it's a band that I fell in love with immediately. Very similar to Blind Guardian in the fact that I fell in love with them, and I was trying to do videos to learn more about them, and I found out they were coming to my area, and I immediately bought tickets. And then it kind of went into overdrive of like, okay, well, how quickly can I learn other stuff so I'm going to be prepared at the concert and all that kind of good stuff. So with that being said, the number 2 band is Electric Callboy. Loved them. And quite frankly, if you guys have seen Electric Callboy, it's hard to not love them at this point. But can't get enough of them. I listen to them, I'd say still on a regular basis. Having seen them, they were so much fun live. I did a vlog for them, so if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. But that is definitely one of those bands that I found, I would say, slightly before this channel, but they were catalysts for me starting this channel. So, I think they still count. And so, yeah, Electric Callboy is the number 2 band on my list. Before I get to number 1, I just want to list off some honorable mentions. And these bands are bands that just missed the top 5 for various reasons, but absolutely deserve some credit and deserve to be listed. And so I'm going to start off with the very first one, which is Infected Rain. I'm a huge fan of them, and I love them. I was so fortunate to be able to interview Lena from Infected Rain in November, and really I owe them so much, because when you start a band, well, I'd say when you start a band, when you start a channel, you don't really know, is anybody going to watch it? Really, what is the channel going to be? All this kind of stuff, like what kind of content you're going to create, all of that. And this channel was so small. Like, I don't think we had many subscribers at all. And I figured I don't know if it wasn't a goof. It was just one of those, okay, well, I have a channel. Don't have many subscribers. Let me take a chance. Let me reach out to the band. And I knew they were playing in my area, and I thought, let me reach out to them and see if I could set up an interview. And I didn't think they would give me the time of day. Honestly, I feel like at the time I may have had 100 subscribers, and I don't even know if I had that. But and that's when I reached out to them. And so I was blown away that not only did they answer me back, but they said yes, which I was like, is this happening? I actually have a channel, and there's a band that I enjoy that they're actually going to let me interview them. It was one of those like pinch me moments, I guess I should say. And it really did start this whole thing. And, meeting the band was amazing. Lena was generally the nicest person in the whole wide world, just super, easy to talk to. And so she really gave me the confidence to, hey, keep doing this. And from that interview on, I felt more comfortable, reaching out to bands and asking for interviews. And so I owe so much to Infected Rain on this one. But the reason why I don't have them in my list is because I was a fan prior to starting this channel. So Infected Rain isn't on the list only because of the technicality of I was definitely a fan prior to starting this channel, but they absolutely deserve mad credit because really, if it weren't for them taking a chance on, letting me interview them, then who knows if I would have been able to interview anybody else. And so big ups to Infected Rain, and I'm so thankful for them. Couple other bands that I believe deserve honorable mention. One of them is Stellvris. Stellvris is a band based out of Prague, and I was fortunate enough to interview Nicole from Stellvris a couple months back. And in prep for that interview, I was listening to their album Persistence a lot, and I just fell in love with it. I realized I loved every bit of it. And then when I got to interview Nicole, she could not have been nicer. And, we've even stayed in contact, for a couple of things outside of this channel. And she's just been the nicest person in the world. So that's a band that I really, really wish people would support. I know they're still very, very young and they're kind of working their way up the ranks, but I love it. Every time I see them on Facebook or Instagram and they've got a new gig that they're promoting, I'm just so happy for them because they deserve everything. So I definitely want to put some light onto Stellvris. And it looks like Stellvris, but it's Stellvris. Last but not least, I want to give a shout out to Hand of Juno. Hand of Juno is a band that actually, in a weird sort of way, I found via Infected Rain because the bass player for Infected Rain, Alice Lane, was also a member of Hand of Juno. And that's essentially kind of how I found them. And they just have an EP out, and I think they're working on like a full-length album. But I really, really enjoy their music. And once again, extremely cool people to work with. I did get the opportunity to interview them a couple months back, and super friendly people. And I will say, we even had a lot of, let's say, technical difficulty and just super cool. You never know how people are going to react, especially when technical difficulties come up in an interview setting and whatnot. And they just could not have been friendlier. So they deserve mad recognition and mad props. So if you haven't checked out Hand of Juno, definitely check them out as well. And so, yeah, I think that's it for the honorable mentions, but I definitely want to give them credit because these are all bands that took a chance on letting this guy right here interview them, and it's still amazing to me that that's a thing. Okay, folks, we are finally at the number one band that I found via this channel, and this is a band that I have to say, just from the first listen, I immediately went and said, I love this band. I need to listen to more. I need to listen to everything. And I actually made a huge mistake because I could not wait to hear all of their stuff. So what I did was I said, okay, this makes sense. They have a new album coming out and they had new songs coming out. But I figured, okay, well, let me listen to all the previous stuff and then I'll do reactions for the new stuff. And so that's kind of what I did because I just fell in love with it. But it was one of those immediately, I did not have the patience to just, wait and kind of work my way through. It was no, I need to listen to everything now. And there's that part. Then after I had the confidence to start asking some bands if it was okay, if I could interview them, this one band, this number one band here, it was one that I just assumed was just never going to happen. Sometimes it was more of a wish list. I thought, man, if I could actually just talk to this band, it would be so cool. And once again, just like Infected Rain, I didn't have many subscribers at the time that I actually sent the email out just to, so I didn't think anybody was even going to pay attention. I really didn't. And I will say this, it was amazing to me that the lead singer just, I feel like, immediately wrote back, or within a day or so. And it was just like, sure, let's do it. Boom. Let me get you in touch with the right people and let's make it happen. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is weird. New channel, huge fan of music, and to be able to like go to a venue and meet up with the band ahead of time, the coolest experience ever. And like, I don't have any real credentials. I just started this channel, and so couldn't have been nicer, and just made a dream come true, for lack of better terms. So my number one band is Orbit Culture, and I will say it's not just a matter of like meeting the guys and hanging out with them, and but the music is so good. I listen to the music all the time, and if you guys saw, I did a best of 2023, and their album Descent was my number one pick. That was not, just because I, was planning on meeting them or anything like that. That's legitimately, like, I've listened to that album so many times, and their previous stuff as well. So I would say is like hands down the number one band that I learned from this channel. And I feel like I've gained so much from them, and this channel has gained so much, I guess, from them, that, they definitely solidified that number one spot. But I just, like I said, they're definitely in my favorite bands of all time at this point. And so they definitely needed to be the number one. But hey, like I said, there's so many bands that I'm checking out. There's so many great bands that you guys have told me about. And, come to me tomorrow and you might get a different top five. But as of today, this is my top five bands that I have learned from this channel. And now it's time for my top five songs that I've learned from this channel. And these songs are songs that I will say, when I saw them, I didn't know what to expect, which pretty much every one of my reactions, I don't know what to expect. But there are some bands where you kind of know, okay, I'm going to kind of get the same thing. Nothing wrong with it. It just means you mentally, I kind of know or feel like I know what I'm going to get myself into. Then there are moments where I'm just completely blown away, because I did not know this even existed in the world, or the specific song was just emotionally driven and struck me somewhere. But these are songs that I think when I look back at all of the ones I've done so far, these are ones that definitely stood out to me as being something which made me so proud. I've said this a few times where I'll do like a reaction and it just makes me so happy that I'm in this spot doing this channel, because I'm learning bands like this and hearing songs like this. And so these are songs that made me feel that way, where it was just the sheer joy and love of this whole project. And so I'm going to start with number 5, and very similar to the top 5 bands, I did put them in order. So, 5 being the least, number 1 being the best. And once again, out of 300 and something reactions, these are the creme de la creme. So these are not bad songs at all. It's just the ranking of how I kind of had to put it based on how I felt when I heard it. So the number 5 song is Heaven Shall Burn by Imminence. And this is one of those where I had no idea who Imminence was. It was recommended that I check it out. And so I really just went in there blind. And when I saw the lead singer playing the violin, and it was heavy and aggressive, but beautiful in the background. It had everything. And I just never expected to see a violinist with like really heavy, aggressive music. And so it was new to me on all fronts, and it sounded great. And it was definitely something where I was like, man, I am so happy to be doing what I'm doing. And you guys, letting me know about all these cool bands. And so Heaven Shall Burn by Imminence was definitely one of those moments where to this day I still remember seeing it for the first time, and I just absolutely love it. So that is my number 5. Number 4 is definitely an interesting one because I got the recommendation in the comments, and I think it was the name of the band that threw me, and it's because when I say it, you guys will know, but I have this thing for bands that when the name is just so crazy or shocking or whatever, I'm almost just glued to them, and it's more. I always laugh at the fact that like people keep making these band names like so like hardcore or so like aggressive or so. It's like, how many ways can you be shocking, or how many ways can you do whatever? So for me, it was strictly the band name that I figured, oh, I have to check this out. And it was once again recommended in the comments. And I remember watching the video thinking I was going to get just a noise. Sometimes when you hear the band names, you just go, okay, the darker it is, just the straight up noise, nothing but just aggressive drums and just noise. And that's kind of what I was thinking I was going to get. I did not realize I was going to be taken on this like epic journey, and the storyline was just amazing, and it was the opposite of what I thought it was going to be. And so it was very shocking to me, but in an amazing way. And so my number 4 is Like Father, Like Son by Rotting Christ. And I will say, I went out and downloaded the last couple albums by Rotting Christ and have fallen in love with them since. And so it's definitely one of those bands that, the name, like I said, the name I think throws people off, or at least in America. Like, I don't know how they are in Europe, but in America, when you mention the name, people just immediately are just like, no, I want nothing to do with it. And I keep telling people, I'm like, trust me, you need to listen to it. And Like Father, Like Son off of their latest album, Pro Cristo, is one that I absolutely tell people, and I have them check out the video. But it's something that definitely shocked me because I was not sure what I was going to be into, and it was the happiest surprise ever. So number 4, Like Father, Like Son by Rotting Christ. Okay, number 3 is from a band that is on my top 5 bands list. And so I already kind of gave a little bit of how I felt during it, but they absolutely needed to be on this list because that's how it all started. But I'd say it's Adis by Eluveitie. And that was the very first time I heard Eluveitie. And it just blew me away. It was just so foreign to me, but yet felt like home. It felt comfortable. It was everything that I loved, but yet it was different because it had like, the old instrumentation. It had, clean singing, guttural. It was just everything that I needed to hear, I feel like. And that started me on that trajectory of, wanting to hear more from Eluveitie, and finally just, going and checking out their whole discography and loving it. So Adis from Eluveitie definitely had to be on the list because, hey, it gave me that feeling. Number 2 is one, actually it's a recent one. I did it a couple weeks ago, and it was another band that came up in the comments, and never heard of them in my life. And there was really no, It was one. It was definitely one of those bands that I just had no idea what I was going to be in for, and I had not heard anything from them prior. I wasn't given any kind of a lead up as far as, sometimes when I'm talking to you guys, we'll have a conversation, and let's just say that we're talking about Ginger, and then you usually want to go, hey, check. Well, if you like this, then check out this. So then at that point, I know, okay, well, it's going to be similar to Ginger. In this particular case, there was no lead up. It was just one of the viewers was telling me about a band that they were listening to. And so I just sort of kind of took it from that. And so I went and, put the video on. And if you guys watched that video, it just completely blew me away. And it's Stellar Tombs by Draconian. And it was one of those that you probably won't see me do any more reactions from Draconian unless they put out new work, because I was so moved by it that I immediately got all of their other discography and listened to it. It was one that it just really, really spoke to me. And I mentioned at the time of recording the video that I'm a huge fan of Alanis Morissette, which I know, folks, it doesn't necessarily lend itself to metal, but it's one of those things where I always say the heart wants what the heart wants. And so I'm a big, huge fan of Alanis, and it's something where she is not a metal musician and probably will never, ever do metal. I shouldn't say never, ever, because you never know. It could happen, but chances are probably not going to happen. So the lead singer, or the female singer, I should say, within Draconian gave me that same, it was like goosebumps, because she sounded so similar to Alanis. And it gave me that vibe of, this is the closest I'm going to get to hearing Alanis sing metal, or in a metal song type, I should say. And it was just amazing, because it was almost like a dream come true. I got to meld the best of both worlds, and hear what that would sound like. And so for me, it just completely blew me away, but I absolutely got goosebumps when I did that reaction, and to a point where once again, I won't be doing any more Draconian, most likely, because I've already checked out the discography. So unless they have new stuff coming out, and then I'll definitely check it out. But yeah, number 2 is Stellar Tombs by Draconian. And now it's time for the one you've all been waiting for. If you're still hanging in there, I hope you're still hanging in there. I know it's kind of been long doing 2 lists in one video, but hey, hopefully you're hanging in there. So this is the one that you who have been hanging in there have all been waiting for. The number 1 song that I learned from this channel that absolutely, I'd say, floored me. And no, it's not anything by Floor from Nightwish, unless you guys are like trying to read into things. But no, it's not that. So just choice of words. But the number 1 song was a song that I honestly didn't think I was going to like it or be moved by it as much as I was. I had seen another video from this artist, and I was thinking, okay, cool, it's good. No real, it didn't move the needle, or didn't, one way or the other. It was just, I enjoyed it. But then we get to I believe it was the second song that I checked out by this artist, and it absolutely moved me. And it was just an amazing performance. And the song is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 by Aurora. And that was one where I was left speechless. If you watch that video, when it was done, and I feel like she did it a cappella, or very, very, maybe there was one guitarist, if I remember it correctly. But I remember at the end of it, I was just floored. And it was the level of like emotion, the way she sings, it was just everything. And I think I was pretty speechless at the end of it, which is very awkward when you're doing a reaction video and you have nothing, because you're just like, wow, this is crazy. So it was very, very moving, the song. And from there on out, I've been a fan of Aurora. And as you guys know, I've done, I think, a bunch of Aurora videos, which is actually kind of funny because if you look at this channel and you see all the different types of music, it is predominantly within the metal subgenres. And then there's Aurora. And so it just, it is weird, if you look at it at a high level, but, I listen to everything. I listen to so many different styles of music, and, it just happens to be that the majority of this channel is, in the metal world. But I do think other people, who work in other genres, they have a right to sit at this table as well. And that's why you'll probably see more Aurora as she puts out more videos. But I will say 54321 just absolutely got me. And once again, it made me feel like this is why I'm doing this channel. Like songs like this, where I get to, have these experiences and learn the music. It's just so great. And I'm so thankful for songs just like this. And so, yeah. So 54321 by Aurora is the #1 song that I found through this channel. So there you have it, folks. That is my top 5 list of bands that I found through this channel, as well as top 5 songs that I found through this channel. And once again, I want to thank for giving this suggestion. And absolutely, folks, leave comments. If you have suggestions like this or anything that you'd like to see on this channel, absolutely let me know in the comments. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. If you have hit the subscribe button, thank you so much. It truly means a lot. And, it is times like this where I get to actually reflect on all of the things that, I've done on this channel so far, and it's just amazing, and none of it could be done without you guys. And so I am truly grateful for you giving me this opportunity to do so many cool things. And there's so much stuff coming up in the next couple months that I can't wait to put it out and share it with you guys. I'm just going to be editing for a long time, though. That's the only kind of problem. I'm not good at editing, so bear with me on that. But I have so many things that I want to put out. And so please, 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 hit that subscribe button, and hit the notifications too. I never remember to say notifications, but hit the notifications. That way, when I put out new videos like this or any other video, you'll be the first to find out. And share this with your friends too. Feel free and share. Let's build this community. But yeah, more importantly, I just once again cannot thank you enough for helping me with this whole venture. And so with that being said, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.